Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. If you love anime, heartfelt reactions, and deep dives into symbolism and themes, then you're in the right place. Before we jump into today's reaction, don't forget to hit that like button to show some love, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a moment of fun. And if you want even more exclusive content like early access to my reactions, full-length anime watch-alongs, and an amazing community of fellow anime lovers, please do check out my Patreon. You can find a link in the description box below. Your support truly means the world as it helps to keep these reactions coming, and I'd love to have you join our cozy little anime family. Today, we are reacting to episode 20 of Frieren. We only have 8 more episodes left, and then the series is over until January of 2026. We're not going to talk about it because I'm still sad that I have to wait that long, but I'm excited nonetheless to see how this series plays out and how series 2 also plays out, because this show is phenomenal and I love it with my whole entire heart. And if you're wondering what's coming next after Frieren, it will be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So that will hopefully be coming out, I want to say possibly August. I'm not sure, either mid-July or August, because it just depends when Frieren is finished. For Patreon, Full Metal Alchemist will probably come mid-June. For YouTube, I'm going to say maybe mid-July. It just depends on the timing of the show finishing on YouTube, because I think Patreon's like 2-3 weeks ahead. So it could be like early July, mid-July. I don't know. But I think there's going to be like 3 weeks ahead early access for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood for Patreon. But yeah, I'm excited to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I'm excited to share that experience with you all, but I'm also excited to share Series 2 with you all in January, because I will be dropping everything to watch that when it comes out. We left off with them all about to fight one another. They've just caught a bird, and Fern's group is also fighting to keep theirs too. So everyone is out for blood. Everyone is out to try and pass this test. As to who's going to be successful, we shall see, but it's obviously going to be Frieren and it's obviously going to be Fern. Neither of them are going to get pushed around by any of these people. They've far more experience and they're just not going to allow themselves to lose. But without further ado, we're going to get into episode 20. Oh, he's really not holding back. But nor is Ubel. Yeah, she's barely reacting. Just quick. Barely any motion. Very fluid. She's killed once before. She'll kill again. It's so funny how casually they're talking to each other as if they haven't just been trying to kill one another. Oh! She's intensifying that. Because she's that girl. She's just that good. Underhanded. Oh, fuck. Did Fern just kill someone? Did Fern just massacre somebody? That's folk magic too. That's the same one that Frieren was using. Yeah, good question. He would have done it by now. Yeah. He's not gonna do it. So he doesn't actually want to kill anyone. Because he has some honor, I guess. Oh, he's looking away. Ooh. Oh, the poor
視
bird.
界に全身を収めてないと無理なのか。
目を狙いやがったな。
合理的な判断でしょ。
いいよ。俺がお前の立場だったら殺すために首を狙う。戦場でも同じようなことをした奴らはいたぜ。そいつらは全員殺しを楽しむ変態だ。
I mean, Kraft kind of thought that she
お前は
was
ここで殺しておく
enjoying
べきだ。
killing.
女子供を殺したことあるの？
ねえと思ってんのか。
どんな地獄を見てきたの？
Probably a lot.
時間稼ぎか。俺ら北部魔法隊は対魔族専門の傭兵だが、有事には国同士の戦争にだって動員される。人ってのは人の弱い部分をよく知ってる。戦争に女子供を借り出すなんて
Oh
わけの修行は
God, that's
珍しいこ
awful.
とでもなんでもねえ。
Poor kids.
北の果てじゃ日常だ。
そう。
Playing on people's emotional
Oh, yeah.
sentiments, but also they're just kids. What's her aim here? Is she trying to distract him to buy time, or I think he has a moral sense of
私
duty
は
and
ね、
respect,
その人
right?
が得意とする魔法は人生や人間性に大きく関わっていると思っている。
He's
相手の
restraining.
動きを封じるこの魔法は
Yeah.
まるでとうに両手は血で染まっているのに、まだ人間でありたい
Because
と
he
思
has
ってい
some
るん
sense
だ。
of honor and moral code, I guess.
そうだ。これは殺す覚悟のための時間だ。俺はためらい臆することはあっても、必要な殺しは全部やってきたぜ。
But he doesn't necessarily enjoy doing it. I think that's probably the difference. He
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
enjoy it. Hence why he has to bind people to psych himself into
動かない
doing
でくだ
it.
さい。
Fern's like, put that fucking down.
全く気配がしなかった。驚いたぜ。魔力を完全に消せんのか。
Learn from the best.
シュティレを
Well,
捕
to
らえ
be
たの
fair,
は
she's
お
been
前だな。
doing it before Frieren,
運
but
が良
Frieren
かっ
helped
た
her
だけだ
hone
よ。
it even further.
偶然シティレ
But
のネグロを見
Haito
つけて、
taught her, so
その
still
子は
learned
鳥
from
を
the
捕まえ
best.
る魔法を師匠から教わっていた。
エーレと戦っていたな。あいつはどうした？
殺しました。
Oh, she did.
第一次試験の合格条件は、今日の日没までにシュティレを保有していることと、
So he's
パー
already
ティーメンバーが
failed.
全員揃っていること。俺たちの負けだな。
So there's no purpose to this any further
私
because
を殺すんじゃなかったの？
what's the point?
不合格が確定したんだ。
There's no
もう
meaning
不
to
合
it.
格だ。
I think there has to be a purpose behind his
別に背中を狙ったって構わないぜ。
reason for killing, which is
不要な
why like he
殺し
kind of
が
has to
必要な
psych
殺しに
himself
戻る
into
だ
it.
けだ。
He's a fascinating individual because like he binds people
嘘
to kill
上手
them.
じゃん。今のうちにランド様の援護
So
に向かい
she
ましょう。
didn't kill her.
大
Okay.
丈夫でしょう。あのメガネくん、相当な食わせ者だよ。
Here's me thinking Fern could do that. I mean, I think if pushed, Fern could do it. Jesus Christ.
鋼鉄に変えた無数の花弁を正確に操って防御をかいくぐった。君の弱点はよく分かったよ。多分僕の勝ちだ。
饒舌だな。利き腕を潰されてどう勝つつもりだ。
He doesn't need his
降
dominant
伏し
arm
ない
to
のな
win.
ら次は首を切り落とす。
君魔力探知苦手でしょ。
That's not him.
実体はあるから正確には僕の分身。
Oh, wow.
いつから？
最初からだよ。第一次試験が始まった時から。
So they haven't even met the real him. It's just been a clone this whole
何が殺した
time.
だ。あのクソ女、平然と嘘つきやがって。魔力切れかよ。だっせな。魔法学校の首席だろ。
Here's me being like, Fern could do that because she's ruthless at times, but
切られたわ。さばききれなかっ
yeah, it makes more sense that she didn't. She's not that type of
た。
person
信
to
じて
just
ないでしょ。
unnecessarily do it. But I think if pushed, she probably would have. Jesus Christ.
バカみたいに正面から戦いやがって。お前なら勝てねえ勝負じゃなかったはずだ。
The same way that you
だが
hesitated
一
to
般
kill
攻撃魔法だ
Ubel.
けでこれほどの芸当ができるとしたら、あの女は相当な化け物だな。
She's stronger than people give her credit for. She's stronger than she gives herself credit for at times.
ちょっと物みたいに運ぶつもりおんぶして。
And he gave in quite easily.
シャルフの反応は近いの？
I think he cares more for people than he'll ever let on.
おいシャルフ、
Is he dead though? No, he's out. He's not dead. Is he dead? Or is he just knocked out?
おんぶしてくれ。しびれて動けん。
He's knocked out.
くそ、マジで何なんだよ。
You underestimated them.
こんな状況じゃシティレはもう奪えねえ。俺たちの不合格は確定だな。
それなのに私たちを助けてくれるんだ。優しいのね。
I think he tries to come across as ruthless, but he's not actually
泣くん
ruthless.
じゃねえよ男だろ。
Hence why like he really has to
その優し
push
さが
himself
あな
to
たが魔族と戦う
kill
理由なの
people.
かしら。
He needs to find an actual reasoning for it.
あなたは私の村も救ってくれたわ。
人間は欲望のために戦うんだよ。俺の場合は下心だ。故郷
Mm.
に好きな奴がいたんだよ。今からちょうど29年前。
And she
北側諸
moved.
国の魔族の動きが活発化して、俺はバカなガキでな。
So his mission
格好をつけちまったん
was
だ。
to get rid of the demons so that she could come back and they could be
だか
together.
らその時はこの村に帰ってこい。
That's so cute.
もう顔も名前も覚えちゃいね
But it meant something.
バカみたいね。
え。ああ、バカみたいだ。
He's a nice guy. He just doesn't want people to think of his kindness as a weakness.
ね、ビアベル。
どうした？
あれ、
Maybe they'll get one after all. They did!
ふざけやがって。今までの苦労は何だったんだ？
This is going to be a fascinating
さ
watch.
っきから何もしてこないけど。
He's surveying. She's waiting.
エルフか。優秀な魔法使いだな。だがその一度で十分。
Element of surprise is what they're trying to do.
消えた。フリーレン、シティレが。取られたか。結界の中は雨でも快適だな。
そういえば第二次試験の試験官はお前だったな。全然。
今回も有望な受験者を何人も死なせたみたいじゃないか。ゲナ、これは争奪戦に見せかけた対人戦だ。
Like a battle
運も実力
royale.
のうちだ。それに運以外でシティレを捕まえた連中もいるようだ。
誰が勝ち上がると思う？
3分の1は残るだろう。その中に電
They're
気が
whittling him
確実にいる。
down.
奴の実力は一級魔法使いと比べても遜色はない。
富と権力にしか興味のないご老体が、なんで今さらこんな試験に？
Yeah, it seems a bit
目的はやっ
weird.
ぱり特権？
さあな。
Maybe trying to use it for his own benefit.
思うところでもあるのだろうさ。
あの子だけシュティレを持って逃げればいい。
ラウフェンはまだ未熟者でな。魔力の痕跡を残しすぎた。お前なら容易に追跡できるはずだ。フリーレン。
He knows who she
現に
is.
お前はわしらを煩わしく思っておる。
まあね。私のこと知っているんだ。
He's old enough
わ
to
しら
know.
の世代でその名を知らぬ魔法使いなどいない。お前は勇者一行の魔法使い。フリーレンだ。
She's gonna kick your ass.
結局堂々と挑んでくるんだ。私たちのことをずっと嗅ぎ回っていたでしょ。
Is he wanting to prove something by beating Frieren because she's the mage of the heroes party?
デンケンがお前の足止めをしている間に、俺
What
が
the
そっちのガキ二人、どちらかを殺す。
なるほど。パーティーメンバーが欠けて合格条件を満たせなくなれば、こっちは引かざるを得ないわけだ。
面白い。やってみろよ。ラビーネ、こいつ強いよ。
知ってるよ。
やめろリヒター。わしらは足止めができればそれでいい。勝てる勝負だ。
宮廷魔法使いだろ。 性的を消したことだって一度や二度じゃないはずだ。
Oh, okay. He's a menacing backstory. Imperial
一級魔法
mage.
使いに人死にの価値があるとは思えんだけだ。
それだけは同意見かな。
So he knows firsthand how people can fall from grace because ruling through fear doesn't last forever.
半世紀以上前に突如として歴史の表舞台に現れ、人類の魔法使いの頂点に君臨した大陸魔法協会の創始者、大魔法使いゼーリエは、魔王軍との長い戦火の時代の洗練された魔法使いを未だに追い求めている。だから
Okay.
彼女は一級魔法使いの
Another
座についた
elf?
者に特権を与えることを約束した。一つだけ望んだ魔法を授けるとな。望んだ魔法が授けられるということは、魔法使いにとって願いが叶うに等しいことだ。
Yeah, but at what
と
cost
っても
though?
単純でな。おかげで今や一級魔法使いは人外を疑うほどの化け物揃いだ。それほどの価値があるんだよ。
そう。
バカバカしい。
電剣、あんたみたいに特権なんてどうでもいいって方が少数派だ。
Because he comes from privilege, whereas other people don't have the luxury.
電剣、そいつを1分足止めしろ。それだけあれば2人とも殺せる。
何度も言わせるなリヒター。たかがガキ2人だ。たった3時間寝かしつけるだけ。こいつはわしが叩き潰す。それでよかろう。
老いぼれが。バルグラント。
Okay. Neither of them are
若いやつ
phased.
は血気盛んでいかんな。
He's playing with fire here. Frieren's not just going to allow that to go down. Absolutely not. She's not going down without a fight, and nor is she going to allow them to harm her two comrades. Like, that's not happening. He is playing a dangerous game, and I think he wants to do it to prove something. I think he finds more status in defeating Frieren than he does in becoming a first mage, because he knows exactly who she is and what she symbolizes. Rebel, however you say his name, is incredibly fascinating to me because he says you'll go from an unnecessary to a necessary killing. So it's almost like he binds someone to weigh up whether it's necessary or justified to kill the person in question. It's as if he doesn't take killing lightly. He knows the consequences. He knows the impact that it has. So therefore, he doesn't make rash decisions, hot-blooded decisions. He would rather weigh up whether this is necessary or not. And once he's deemed it's necessary, he can will himself to do it. But that's not who he comes across as at first. He comes across as very like underhanded, very brutal, very uncaring. But that's the exact opposite as to what he actually is. He's fought in wars. He's seen children and women being used as weapons in order to exploit emotional weaknesses. So he doesn't allow that to kind of get to him. But at the same time, his whole reasoning for wanting to defeat all the demons is based on a child crush, and he doesn't even remember her name or who she is. He just is under the understanding that if he was to get rid of the demons, she would be able to come back. And it's very sweet that he says he doesn't do this out of kindness. He doesn't do this for any other reason than this ulterior motive. But this ulterior motive was also based on kindness. It was based on her not wanting to leave, of wanting to keep her there, which is an act of kindness in itself. Of course, there is an ulterior motive in the fact that he does care for her, and he wouldn't be doing it if not for that reason. But still, I think he's kinder than he realizes, and that is coming out in the fact that he genuinely could have killed Ubel a lot sooner, but he didn't because he didn't deem it necessary. So the others are quite hell-bent on killing. He seems a lot more restrained, a lot more understanding of the impact of what killing someone has because he's had experience with it. Whereas the others haven't had the same experience as him, which is why he doesn't see it as always a necessary choice. he understands the impact and he's willing to weigh it up and in the meantime restrain someone until he's made his decision as to whether it's justified. Because again, when Ubel goes for him, he says, don't make me turn this from an unnecessary killing to a necessary killing. And he also says that the people that enjoy killing are perverts, emphasizing that he doesn't enjoy the act of killing people. He has to kill people if it means surviving. He has to kill people if it means protecting his home and protecting the people he cares about, but he doesn't do it because he desires to do it, because he still values the part of him that is human. As Ubel says, your hands are already drenched in blood and yet you still want to remain human. Yeah, because he understands the magnitude of such a choice. Everyone else is hell-bent on shedding blood without care, without consideration. Even the ones that are running the tests are saying, oh, you know, only a third will survive. It's not necessarily a test of skill, but a test of initiative, a test of wiping out your opponents in order to get ahead. So it's less a test of skill and more a battle royale between mages, seeing who will get ahead, seeing who will be the most merciless, the most callous in order to achieve their goal, which I'm surprised is what they encourage behavior-wise, because then that just falls back into that cycle of ruling by fear and seeing the first mage as a status symbol rather than as a credit to the skill that you possess. I still can't believe that I thought Fern had killed her, and the reason I thought Fern had killed her is because we've seen Fern kill before, and of course it should have come to my mind, like, Fern is very similar. She doesn't kill unless it's necessary, and it wasn't necessary to kill her, but still I was a bit like, damn, maybe she did. I fell for the lie very easily. I was manipulated, but she's very good at lying, more so than I realized. She's very quick to dissuade others from continuing in the fight by not even hesitating to say that she killed her. There was absolutely no flicker on her face. She just stoically stood there and was like, yeah, I killed her. I had no reason to doubt that that was the truth, because I mean, we've seen her kill before. It's not like this would be the first time, but there's a difference between killing a demon. There's a difference between killing another mage, especially if you don't actually need to kill someone. And Ubel saying Four Eyes is quite the pretender is so funny, because he's had a copycat from the beginning, because he didn't trust that people wouldn't try and target him. So he did this to protect himself. All the while he's been hiding. He's been hiding his true form. That's so incredibly clever, and I did not expect that. When he like came up behind him, I was like, wait, what? I was like, damn, he moved fast, but no, it wasn't actually him. It was a copycat the whole time. The way the other guy can turn petals into metal is just insane. It's such a cool concept. The way that magic is constructed in the show is really, really fascinating to me. Again, this is the first show I've seen that includes magic, so I've been really enjoying seeing the mages and the different magics that they hone their skills into, because I imagine everyone picks something that they want to become experts in, that they can technically hone skills in a wide range of abilities, but maybe have a specialty. But that was just so unique. I've never seen someone turn things of beauty into weapons, into the ability to kill someone from something so beautiful as a flower. It's insane. Verbal, however you say his name. Verbal? I don't know. I can't say it. But regardless of how you say it, he's saying he's not kind, even though he's helping his comrades that are injured. But he doesn't have to help them. I guess part of it could be selfish motivation, because so long as they're alive, they're still in the game. But at the same time, he doesn't actually have to help them if he really doesn't want to. But he's going out of his way to protect them, to even carry her on his back like she requests. Also stepping in during their time of need. I wonder what Duncan's motive is, though. Because he's since said, what's an old man only interested in wealth and political power doing getting certified now? Like, why does he need it? Is it because he feels like it would be a way to continue clinging on to power because he sees it as a status symbol? I'm not sure. Or whether he thinks that it's a way of proving himself to be an all-powerful mage because he gets to take down Frieren, who he knows as the mage from the Party of Heroes. Because he says that there's not a mage in his generation, essentially, that doesn't know who Frieren is. And he knew who she was as soon as he saw her, and he's kind of gone out of the way to track down her party. So I think he's doing this to kind of prove that he's more powerful than a legendary mage, you know? But what other benefit does he have? Because he seems to have power and privilege in a way that others don't. He's an imperial mage. I'm not entirely sure what an imperial mage infers, but I'm sure we'll find out. But it looks like it's somebody that holds a great deal of power and also has killed political enemies because they likely got in his way and disagreed with him. So I understand why he's like confused why he wouldn't be above killing these two girls if it meant getting to where he wants to be. But maybe he feels it's cheap. Maybe he feels that it's not deserved because they're just two young girls attempting to take the test and that they're not deserving to die. Or maybe he just genuinely doesn't see them as a threat, thinks that they're not that important, that it's not necessary to kill them. Unlike Frieren, who he said he'll crush. And I think it's because, again, it comes down to him wanting to prove something, wanting to prove his skill and his prowess. We've also seen there's now another elf, Seri, the founder of the Continental Magic Association. And then there's the mention she's searching for mages refined during the long war against the Demon King. But why though? What's the ulterior motive? And what's the purpose of luring people into doing this certification? And what's her ulterior motive? So she's come here to reign over humanity's magic, right? But in doing so, she also wants to find people refined during the long war against the Demon King. But why does she want to reign over humanity's magic? And what is her reasoning for essentially coercing people into doing this assessment in order to then be granted a spell of their choice? People are going above and beyond in order to become a first mage solely because they want to satisfy their own desires. As they said, so modern first-class mages are all monsters who barely seem human because they're willing to allow their greed and prowess to overrule the simple fact of taking pride in their abilities or the abilities that they've actually honed over time instead of being granted their one and only wish. I don't know. It's very interesting because it's also another elf. So you have to wonder, like, does Frieren know who she is? Has Frieren ran into her before? Maybe not, because again, Frieren couldn't possibly have met every single elf out there. But it's interesting that the one person that has come to reign over humanity's magic and has brought about this special privilege of becoming a first-class mage is to get this one desired spell of yours granted is an elf as well. It's going to be interesting to see what her perspective is in all of this. Frieren seemed to have a little bit of a reaction, not much, but it was like she almost recognized the name somewhat. So I'm curious how this is all going to play out. Is this just like a little game that Seri's been playing with humanity? Maybe wants to highlight how greedy humanity truly is, that they will do anything for power and accolades rather than for the love of magic. Maybe that's her way of highlighting the hypocrisy of humanity in comparison to others, that maybe she values people outside of the first class mage for their ability to love magic without needing to be defined by status or power, just purely and simply they love magic enough to take pride in it. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing to do with it, and maybe it's just somebody on a power trip and wanting to control how magic is defined in the world by putting them under exam conditions. But I feel like it could also potentially have an ulterior motive. But next episode is set to be an exciting one, with Frieren having another epic showdown, but also the fact that we now have another elf who's running the Continental Magic Association, who's likely going to crop up further and we'll probably learn more about. I'm curious what their background is in all of this and why they're doing all of this. It seems very strange for an elf to be so intent on how humanity's magic is run and function, even going as far as to call her the ruler of humanity's magic. So I'm excited to see her perspective and her backstory as this goes on, because I'm sure they will give that to us, because they've just dropped her in randomly, so we're probably going to see her crop up again. But for now, I think this is all I want to say in relation. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next time, bye.